In the unforgiving world of modern warfare, air superiority isn't just a military advantage. It's a declaration of dominance. For India, that declaration came in the form of 36 gleaming Rafale fighter jets imported from France. These multi-role combat aircraft, armed with cutting-edge sensors, long-range missiles, and electronic warfare suites, were purchased for a staggering $9 billion. India's goal was clear: to gain decisive superiority over its longtime rival Pakistan and to maintain parity with China in an increasingly volatile Asian theater. The Rafale was supposed to be the ace in the deck, a technological edge that could outfly, outshoot, and outlast anything its adversaries put in the air. But what if all of that could be undone? Not by a fleet, not by an armada, but by a single missile. Enter the PL-15, a Chinese-built, hypersonic, beyond visual range, air-to-air missile now deployed by the Pakistan Air Force. With just one well-aimed launch, this weapon could transform India's multi-billion-dollar investment into smoke and debris. The battlefield calculus has changed, and the stakes have never been higher. The Rafale Gamble, India's bet on French firepower. Let's begin with India's acquisition of the Dassault Rafale. This wasn't just an arms deal, it was a strategic pivot. With aging MiG-21s and even the relatively newer Su-30 MKIs showing their age, India needed a fighter that could dominate at long range, hold its own in dogfights, and survive the complex missile-infested airspace of modern conflict. The Rafale fit the bill. Equipped with the Meteor long-range air-to-air missile and the Mach for close-range engagements, it combined stealth, agility, and lethal precision. The Spectra electronic warfare suite gave it a survivability edge, detecting incoming missiles, jamming radars, and countering threats before they could reach the aircraft. Add to that the Thales RBE-2 AESA radar, capable of detecting enemy fighters at 250 kilometers, and you have what many analysts considered a game-changing platform. But every sword has its counter, and in this case, that counter is flying under a different flag. Pakistan's new trump card, the PL-15 missile. As regional tensions between India and Pakistan flared again, China made a bold move. In a show of deepening defense ties, Beijing reportedly supplied over 100 PL-15 missiles to the Pakistan Air Force. And they weren't export-grade versions. These were frontline missiles, identical to those used by the Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force, PL-8AF. At first glance, the PL-15 doesn't look revolutionary, but its capabilities are absolutely game-changing. It's a beyond visual range, BVR, air-to-air missile with a maximum range of 250 to 300 kilometers, depending on launch conditions. It travels at over Mach 5, 5 times the speed of sound, and is powered by a dual-pulse solid rocket motor, giving it both high initial speed and sustained mid-course energy for long-distance kills. But raw speed isn't the only thing that makes the PL-15 deadly. It uses an AESA radar seeker that allows it to adjust course mid-flight, home in on radar emissions, and strike with pinpoint accuracy, even against evasive or maneuvering targets. It's a smart weapon in every sense. JF-17, Block 3, the perfect delivery system. The platform chosen to carry these missiles is the JF-17 Thunder Block 3, a jointly developed lightweight multi-role fighter by Pakistan and China. The Block 3 variant is a serious upgrade over earlier models. Here's why it matters. It's equipped with an AESA radar, giving it advanced detection, tracking, and jamming resistance. It features infrared search and track, IRST capabilities, allowing it to detect stealthier enemies through heat signatures. It has a new glass cockpit, helmet-mounted displays, and improved data link integration, making it network-ready in a connected battle space. Most importantly, it is designed specifically to fire the PL-15, integrating the missile seamlessly into its fire control systems. Pakistan has already inducted over 50 Block 3 aircraft, with plans to deploy more. In a coordinated engagement scenario, these jets, backed by AWACS and ground radar networks, can launch PL-15s from standoff distances without ever needing to see the target with their own radars. The detection game, who sees first? In air combat, seeing the enemy first is important, But shooting first is what wins battles. The Rafale's Thales radar can detect targets at up to 250 kilometers, depending on the size and altitude of the target. The JF-17's KLJ-7A radar has a detection range of around 170 to 200 kilometers. On paper, the Rafale holds the radar advantage. But in a real war scenario, radars don't operate in isolation. Pakistan's growing network-centric warfare capabilities, including Chinese-supplied early warning aircraft like the KJ-500 AWACS, allow its fighters to receive targeting data from external sources. This means a PL-15 missile can be launched beyond the jet's own radar range, guided via data link, and then take over with its onboard radar in the final phase. This cooperative engagement capability gives Pakistan a massive edge, especially in beyond visual range encounters. Missile versus missile, Meteor versus PL-15. Let's now dive into the heart of the matter. The missile matchup that could decide the fate of air battles in South Asia. The Meteor versus the PL-15. The Meteor, which arms the Rafale, is no slouch. It's a next-generation beyond visual range missile capable of flying at nearly Mach 4 and engaging targets at distances of up to 200 kilometers under optimal conditions. It uses active radar guidance, mid-course updates via data link, and a powerful ramjet motor that sustains high energy across its flight profile. But the Chinese PL-15, now deployed on Pakistan's JF-17 Block 3 fighters, takes that to the next level. It can reach targets at a staggering range of up to 300 kilometers and flies at speeds exceeding Mach 5. Like the Meteor, it uses an ESA radar seeker and data link guidance, but it adds a dual-pulse solid rocket motor, giving it superior endgame agility and energy retention. In a scenario where both missiles are fired simultaneously from roughly equal distances, the PL-15 would hit its target nearly 30 seconds before the Meteor could reach its mark. And in air combat, that difference is not just tactical, it's existential. The faster missile often wins the duel. So while India's Rafale may detect a threat slightly earlier due to its superior radar, it's the JF-17 armed with the PL-15 that can take the first shot, and possibly the last. The result? A significant shift in the balance of power that raises serious questions about the survivability of even the most advanced fighters when faced with a long-range, hypersonic threat like the PL-15. Strategic implications. Is India's $9 billion in danger? So what does all this mean in practical terms? Imagine a scenario where a $30 million JF-17, equipped with a Chinese-built missile, takes down a $125 million Rafale. It would be more than just a battlefield loss. It would be a symbolic defeat, an embarrassment that would call into question India's entire air power doctrine. The Rafale is still a highly capable aircraft, but its effectiveness is now tied to whether it can survive long enough to get into missile range. That window has just narrowed, drastically. Conclusion: the future of air combat in South Asia. The skies over South Asia are entering a new era, one shaped not just by aircraft, but by the invisible lines of detection, the networks of radar, and the reach of missiles that travel at hypersonic speeds. India's Rafale jets remain powerful tools in its arsenal, but they're no longer untouchable. The introduction of the PL-15 into Pakistan's inventory has effectively leveled the playing field, and in some ways even tilted it. In this new high-tech air combat landscape, the winner won't be the side with the most expensive jets, but the one with the smartest weapons, the best networks, and the fastest trigger. And right now, Pakistan's PL-15 may be the weapon that rewrites the rules of the game. If you found this breakdown insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dive analyses into global military developments. Let us know in the comments. Can India adapt to this new threat? Or has Pakistan already gained the upper hand? Until next time, stay alert, stay informed.